Rational numbers and number lines. I can identify and plot rational numbers on a number line. I can identify numbers and their opposites. Positive numbers are on the right side of 0, and negative numbers are on the left side of 0. As you move to the right, any direction to the right, numbers get bigger. As you move to the left, any direction to the left, numbers get smaller. Opposite numbers are a reflection of each other across 0. So, for instance, -3 and 3 is both 1, 2, 3 spots from 0 in either direction. So we're going to number the number line from -10 to 10. So when we go to 0, on either side of 0, to the right is a positive 1, and to the left is a negative 1. And we just count from there, -10 being the smallest number. So it wants us to plot each point and then the opposite. So 1.5 is going to be halfway between 1 and 2. And if I do the opposite, it is exactly that distance from 0 on the other side. So -5. So I'm going to go to -5. The opposite is exactly that distance from 0 on the other side, which is 5. And then 9.2. -9.2. So that's going to be between -9 and -10. And then on the other side, it will be between 9 and 10. Attaching a negative sign to a number means reflecting that number across 0 on the number line. So use symbols to represent the opposite of each number and the value it represents. So this number is -4.5, because there's one negative sign, right? And the opposite of that would be +4.5. -6. So if I change this to use the word opposite, the opposite of -6, or the opposite of 6. So if I start out with 6 on the number line, we're just going to start right there, because that's the number. -6 is here, and then the opposite of -6 is going to be back here. So the negative of a negative is actually the positive, because it's the opposite of a negative. So this is actually 6. So then what is the opposite of 6? That is -6. Okay, so here we go, classifying numbers. So our biggest circle here is rational numbers. That is incorporates every other set of numbers that we're going to be talking about. So rational numbers are any number that you can write as a fraction. Remember, you can write whole numbers as a fraction. So 7 is a rational number because it's 7/1. Integers. Whole numbers and their opposites. Whole numbers and their opposites. So that means you're looking at negative and positive whole numbers. So like -6 and 8. Whole numbers is all the natural numbers and 0. These are only positive numbers. So like 2 and 3. And then natural numbers is your counting numbers. That does not include 0. So the smallest distinction here is natural numbers, And within whole numbers is natural numbers, and integers are whole numbers and natural numbers and rational numbers. So each one of these subcomponents is also a rational number. So we're going to fill out this chart. Examples, natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, those are our counting numbers. Whole numbers, so those are your positives. And so on. Integers, the description, you could say positive and negative whole numbers. Rational numbers, so that could be 2/3. It could be 5, because you could put 5 over 1. And it could be, let's say, 1 1/5. So the description is any number that can be written as a fraction. Okay, so we're going to plot these. 4 1/3 and 4 2/3. And now I'm going to plot a number in between those two rational numbers. And I'm going to write that rational number. So what is between 1/3 and 2/3? So I'm going to have to break this down smaller. And I do that by making my denominator bigger. So I'm going to make my common denominator 6. So that would be 2/6. And this would be, I multiply both by 2, 4/6. So what is in between 4 2/6 and 4 4/6? That would be 4 3/6, or if I reduced it, 4 1/2. Okay, we're going to plot 5.5 and 5.6. So what is in between those? So halfway in between those is going to be 5.55. So I added another 5, indicating that it's halfway between the 0.5 and the 0.6. All right, you try it. It's your turn.